So, see, we are live. And Edwin is here on Kayla Cuts Deep this evening. He's no stranger, so we're just jumping right into it. He just keeps coming out with great projects, so I just keep having him come back on here. What is up, Edwin?
Not much. Just like I said, we're both talking off air a little bit. One of those kind of cold nights. You want to be wrapped up and snuggled in, but we're here talking comics, so it's a good thing.
Yep, I'm in my pajamas. I got no makeup on tonight, so this is me, guys. This is what you get to see. But yeah, speaking of that, I don't know. Should I just pull up Bloodbone right now, or do you want to talk a little bit about it before I pull it up and we go through it? And as soon as I saw it, I like wrote you immediately once it was up to be able to be bought. I had to get the T-shirt. I had to get the ash can. I just had to. Bloodbone has like the coolest freaking logo out right now. Yes.
Hell yeah! This is the sample shirt Brandon sent me. Just put in the order to get the rest of the shirts. So yeah, this is what you're gonna be getting. A sweet, sweet Bloodbone logo there.
I'm gonna cut it though, because I'm gonna cut it and make it like off the shoulder or into a V-neck or fringe it or something, because that's just me, you know.
Go for it.
First, let me just say what's up to who's here. What's up to Unhinge, Jason? Thank
Hell,
you for stopping by, Crispy Jeb, and it's Travco. Hail,
oh,
thanks for coming by. You know, it's Thursday, and I feel like everyone is always streaming when I'm streaming. So it's tough, the life of a small streamer. But I know I give a fucking damn good interview. So everyone's missing out. No. But that logo for Bloodbone is like the best logo I've seen on any book. Like on any book that's coming out.
thank you. That's all how comics. He does all my logos. He's done it for all the different Ace ones and everything. Bloodbone. Other projects I'm working on, he's done the logos for them. He's a master at them. I just kind of give him details and turn him loose, and he always comes up with something crazy. He just did my logo for like my wrestling YouTube channel,
Oh
which I
yeah.
love. So he's the I call him the logo master. So he's the man.
It is like that logo right there. That's something that if I see that book on a stand, right, I'm automatically going to be drawn to it because that logo is just so attractive to the eye. It's so unique. It stands out. It's crazy. Like the appeal that it has. It's how can I put it? Like it's just extremely appealing. It's exciting to look at. It's fun. It's fresh. It's unique. I don't think there's any logos out there like that right now, at least coming out of the indie stuff. So
Yeah, it's logos are a hard thing. Like even with me, I've changed the Ace logo a bunch of times, just
yeah,
trying to find different avenues because the first couple ones didn't really feel right. I think the one for Volume 2 is probably the best version that I have. I'll probably stick with that one. But logos are hard, man. But like I said, once I saw this one, I knew like the moment he sent me even like the first kind of like, all right, this is what I'm thinking about. I said, that's it, man. Like this is, you got to keep going. And then he just finished it off. So, yeah.
it gives me that 90s comic book feel kind of a little bit, but mixed with like Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Like in a cool way, in a really cool way. So, and you're going a different route with this project, because this one just you didn't throw right up on Indiegogo or anything. You're basically putting everything out like on your own. So,
Yeah.
I'm trying. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, like everybody knows, like I have the Ace, which is currently on Indiegogo's closing out December 1st. So I didn't want to like run two campaigns concurrently,
Yeah.
especially since I've run into like delays and stuff for the Ace. So I was kind of initially hoping to be done by now, fulfilling everything, but because of issues with printers, and I had to switch to a new printer, and it's been like crazy stuff.
Oof.
Yeah,
The
it's
printing. So, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I
yeah.
think people need to understand like what kind of issues can come up with a printer. There's a ton. Like, what was your issues personally? What was
The biggest thing was getting damaged books. I got the print file, I got the proof, everything was good, and then I ordered the 200 or so books, and then they came damaged. Not the biggest deal because I got some damage on the first one, but then when I got the reprints, I got those separate. So I got like an order of like 100 and then another 100. Both of those came damaged also.
oof.
So that just delayed everything. So like I said, I went through. It took 4 times for me to get my books, and by then I had lost so much faith in the printer that I decided to try a new printer. The printer that I'm using now for Bloodbone is the printer that I decided to use to do the Joe Ball cover books.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that also cost a delay because it's a brand new printer, so I have to kind of figure out their specs and stuff and deal with the proof for that. So that cost another delay on top of everything that's going on. So like I said, it's been crazy. Like I finally got the proof approved. The last one I got was good, so the Joe Ball book should be coming in the next couple of weeks. But like I said, it all takes time. Everything's like a couple of weeks at a time, and next thing you know, like 2 months have gone by, and you're like, I just want to get these books shipped out to people because I've sent over half of the backers, that had like the sketch cards, the Akula Slime Buddies, and then everybody who ordered like a copy of Volume 2 by itself. I've sent those
So,
out. I'm just waiting for the ones who ordered like the combo or the ones who ordered the metal prints. I
yeah.
actually had trouble with the metal prints also, which I'm trying to get those straightened out. I got to get in touch with Phoenix. So it's been last 2 3 months have been crazy with all sorts of like hiccups and stuff that like was just unexpected. So
I think that's part of the business when you're creating your own comics. And a lot of people, everyone thinks it's all glamorous stuff, but it's really not. And the cost of everything too. I think a lot of people also they look at the campaign and they don't realize like, printing these books costs this much out of this campaign money. Shipping costs this much out of this campaign money. Here we go. Spencer was delayed. So it's up here. But look at that logo. So freaking cool. Gets me so excited just looking at it. So yeah, I mean, we experienced some printing issues here too. So I feel you on the damages. So
yeah, thank you,
um,
Piggy. I love the Slam Buddies. They're a big hit. Hopefully, we'll have some more for the next campaign.
yep, I was just about to say that. So yeah, General Piggy just said the Akula Slam buddies were thick. They were thick. Are we saying thick and it's not about a girl's ass now? Like so you should maybe do something for Bloodbone like that.
Yeah, definitely, he fits that kind of. I think his body type fits like the
Yeah.
Slam Buddies. So yeah, like I said, hopefully, if I do end up doing like a big number one for Bloodbone, we'll kind of have some fun stuff on that, like some Slam Buddies and some other like cool stuff that I've kind of been working on behind the scenes. Hopefully we'll have some cool tiers and stuff. We can do it.
So let's talk about this ash can. So the ash can is 12 pages here. I wish I could make this smaller so this amazing artwork just fits into my screen. For some reason, I can't. So I guess I'm going to set it like this here. All right. So do you want to talk about the story a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, Blood Bones is the story of a man who returns to his hometown after being away for several years, and he sees that it's been overtaken by a criminal enterprise, and he basically decides to clean up the city by using a lot of the skills he gained while he was away, and he ends up becoming a mass vigilante, and he basically ends up kind of beginning to take the law and kind of cleaning up the city into his own hands. And this is kind of like his story.
And this is different. This is something completely different than the ace. This is like the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the ace, it's like a superhero story. This is more like what would you say? Like an anti-hero. You're saying he's a vigilante. So
Yeah, he's very much like he's definitely doing it for the right reasons, but he's also very much in. I like to compare him a lot to kind of like kind of more good version of Bane mixed with like Arrow, It's got a lot of those same kind of things where anybody who's seen the first like couple seasons of Arrow knows that Oliver comes back and he's changed,
Yeah.
and he's a different man. He's kind of he's gone through some stuff, and so he's very clear in how he wants to proceed and kind of make people pay who've been doing bad stuff. Bloodbone's very much the same way. Like he's been through a lot of stuff, and when he comes back to his hometown that he loved, and it was like a beautiful kind of metropolis city where people got along and everything was great, and it seems that it's been corrupted. It's kind of turned into Gotham, and
Mm.
so like a lot of people have been hurt and they're scared, and the cops have been bought off and stuff, and so he's kind of like, he sees what's going on, and he's like, he's very clear like what he needs to do, and he's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of taking heads.
Yep.
So yeah, he doesn't really have any sympathy or kind of like any worry about just killing some of these people. The way I wanted to balance it out is that I wanted most of these people that he deals with are just bad guys. They're criminals. They're pay for
So
hire.
that's it. Like,
So
there's nothing really to them. You're just doing straight bad guys. Is
for
that
the
what?
most part, I mean, we'll throw
Yeah, no,
some
I like that. I
curves and
like
stuff.
that. That's dope. Because
Yeah,
sometimes I want a villain or just a bad guy to be a bad guy. I don't need an explanation as to why they got that way or, you know, whatever the case. I just want to see fights go down. I just want action. I want, your good guy versus your bad guy. I don't need an explanation. I think a lot of times now we always feel that we need to put so much of an explanation as to why this character got this way. And I don't think every story necessarily needs that. So I think that's a cool concept. He's basically just taking a city back.
yeah, and he's facing a lot of kind of hardened criminals and people who
I
who
mean, look
who
at
have
this. You got
yeah.
people with swords in the street, bows and arrows in the streets. What the hell? Like,
Yeah, the cool thing about this is like these characters are actually going to be introduced in if I do like a big number one. I just kind of wanted to kind of have a little teaser for them. When he deals with in this kind of Ashcan, he's dealing with kind of a lot of like soldiers, I guess you'd call them.
yeah,
These are people who are just basically on the front line doing stuff. So he's able to kind of go through them, and then he'll have like a challenge in massive that you see in the second panel. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to kind of put him into this position where you could show off his kind of skills and
yeah,
kind of what threats he poses, and also kind of kind of set up some of the background of some of like the bad guys and stuff. So like I said, I think the 12 pages kind of reads pretty kind of full. I think for like what as far as like an introduction goes to like Bloodbone in the world and everything. I think you can read that and go, okay, now I'm ready for like a full number one, and that's kind of like the goal for it.
yeah. So to me, this looks like really action packed. So it looks like it's really fast paced. Um, Urchin Blues has a question for you. They asked, what aspect of the book are you most excited for as the creator?
Uh, I'm really just interested in telling a different story right now because I've been really deep with the Ace, and it's it's space, it's superheroes, it's aliens, it's spaceships, it's different worlds, different planets, and that's all awesome. But this is completely like street level. There's no
Yeah.
like real superheroes in this world, so I'm having to like exercise a complete different part of my brain and my writing abilities, and it's been fun, but I just kind of want to play it in this kind of world more. So I'm just curious to like have people get into the Ashcan and then kind of hear some feedback and stuff, and then like I said, work on getting like a full script down because I have a lot of kind of loose ideas, but it comes to a point where I have to kind of narrow everything down and be like, all right, this is gonna be issue one, and then I can kind of get everything out. So yeah, I'm just curious for people to kind of get in their hands and kind of get some feedback right now.
Is this whole ash can black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I can't remember. It just looked so interesting to me. I just got it right away. I didn't give a shit. And I was like, this book looks cool. It has that cool factor. So, and I just want to say, like, Donnell's artwork. I think this was a great choice for this. So
Yeah, he was my number one guy when I first was coming up with this idea. I'm thinking like, I need somebody who brings like an energy to the book
yeah,
that's not typical, and can also bring some humor. Because while Bloodbone doesn't do one-liners, he doesn't do shtick. He barely talks
yeah,
in the comic, but Donald finds way with his art to throw in little funny kind of elements, so it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is another thing that I try to avoid. I don't like comics who just like take itself so seriously, where you're just like there's no like break in just this slog that you're reading. So Bloodbone has a lot of violence, a lot of seriousness to it, but also has like a bit of a wink to it also. Excuse me.
that's like something important that you just said. Good artwork should be able to convey a story without writing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So like good artwork, it doesn't matter what the art style is. You should be able to see what the story is in the comic book without writing. Unhinged asked, how long will this be available? They're strapped for some time aside for some previous promised backings that they're overdue for. So they want to know how long you're going to have this up.
Yeah, so this is gonna end on December 1st, along with the Ace. So both kind of things will come to a close, and I'm just gonna focus on fulfillment and just kind of getting everything out to everybody. So yeah, got like another couple, 2, 3 weeks. So when I shout out Pops Vincent, I see you, brother.
Hold on. I didn't even see everyone that's in here. I'm like, what's up, Pops? And what's up, Papa Pills?
Yeah,
Sorry, I get distracted when I interview. I
no,
do. I've been
all
getting
good.
better though with greeting people when they come into the channel and everything. Because when I interview, I just get right into it. So, Jason said, "You son of a bitch." I'll do my best to get
I appreciate it,
it.
man.
Like, look at this logo. I can't get over this logo. This is really cool. Like the inspiration for the design behind this. Like, what was the inspiration like behind the design? Did you have a couple designs in mind? Like the
Mostly like
mask
I
is
said,
like very grifterish. You
yeah,
know, I love
like
that.
like I gave kind of how some ideas of like some of his backstory and stuff, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of notes for him to play around with. And like he's a super like creative guy. So once he kind of saw what the character looked like and everything, and he put some of the background together, it was pretty easy for him to kind of bring it to life. So like I said, a super creative dude. Like I love working with him. I always try to put him over
Yeah.
because I just think we'll be doing a lot of great work in the future. And this is actually a trading card for the people who signed up for the mailing list early. They'll get a nice little trading card with
Oh,
Bloodbone
so I'm
there.
getting a trading card.
Yeah.
And this is just the price right here.
Mm.
So the ash can, if you want one copy, it's 20, free shipping. I can't believe you're doing free shipping.
It's kind of like a trade off with the price. I think
Yeah.
it all averages out. So
So is this like a full size ash can? Like what's the size are you doing for this ash can? You're doing like,
let's see if I got a copy.
oh, you got copies. Anything that you
Yeah,
want to show, you are more than willing to show here.
yeah.
I love when people bring
Trying to
things,
see
they
if
have
I can
things ready. So let's see.
grab some sort
Spencer,
of
if you can
comic.
make Edwin full screen for us.
Give me a second. So this is the ash can there, as you can see.
Oh, wow.
And this is Inglorious Rex,
Okay.
which I just got in, so people can see like the
So that's a
difference.
decent size ash can.
Yeah,
Is that a metallic cover?
it is. You got a
Is it
nice
foil?
little
Yeah.
spoil, little shine to
Wow.
it. It's
That's a damn ash can.
yeah, like to me, once I saw the cover and the colors, I just thought it screamed foil. Like it
Yeah.
just screamed like this is something different. This is something special. And yeah, like I said, it's got some great art. You see, yeah, right there,
Yeah,
beautiful
that looks
pages.
amazing.
Yeah, so then we got a little foil. Even like on the Drawing Aces logo, they put some foil on it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that is really
So,
cool. That is
yeah,
a very good quality ash
yeah.
can.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to kind of had to make some tweaks to like the last, just some minor kind of like uh just like little kind of fixes I had to like do. Sometimes you don't really notice stuff until you get it in hand. So
Oh,
that's
like
why
what you
you
want to
order
explain?
physical proofs.
Elaborate for people. Elaborate for people. That's
Yeah,
I like when people get into the nitty gritty details so people
yeah.
understand. You know.
It's actually a problem on the back. Is
Hmm.
cropped. It wasn't cropped correctly. I didn't notice it until I went back and looked at the image
Yeah.
because I got it in hand. I went, well, it's kind of weird. I wonder why it printed like that. And then I actually went back to the image and went, "Oh no, that's my fault." I didn't notice that it was just a tad bit off, but I wouldn't have noticed it unless I had a physical proof, because it really doesn't show on the screen. So that's one of those things like you always get like a physical proof, so you can always double check everything. And there's also like a problem on one of the pages right here, one of the
Hmm.
panels. There's a little error with the art that I had to get cleared up and resend them again. But again, it wasn't something that I would notice unless I actually had it in my hand and can look at it. So it's just little stuff like that. And, like I said, I'm also working with a new printer and it's foil, so it takes a little longer to kind of get the proof. So just little stuff like that.
No, there's a lot to like, and the proofs take a while too to come. They take a while to come too. So the whole printing process is just long. It's very long. Some people are lucky though. Like right off the bat, they get like everything perfect. Like kudos to them. Cuz
Actually, that happened for the most part with the Ace. That campaign went about as smooth as possible. So I'm
possible.
paying for it. I'm saying I'm paying for it on the second one. Like the first one was smooth. Now the second one, I gotta, get some headaches for this one. So,
So that's a trade-off, I guess.
yeah.
So Urchin Blues is saying, as an action-packed book, what kind of action, or rather, is there an aspect to the set pieces and choreography that you want to play with? Car chases, kung fu, and so on.
Yeah, Bloodbone Styles is very kind of hand to hand. He can use weapons and stuff, but he prefers kind of like I was comparing him a lot to kind of almost like a mixed martial arts fighter.
Yeah,
He likes the bone breaking and just smashing people in the face, kicking them, punching them, kneeing them, elbowing them. He likes that kind of visceral kind of rawness to
that's
like
a
his fighting
Boston
style.
fight.
Yeah,
That is like a Boston street style fight.
yeah.
It's
So
like the
he's
Massachusetts fighting way.
so he's very much kind of hands on, and like I say, he leaves a mess when he's done. So yeah, that's kind of what you're going for. Nothing too fancy with him.
He's just all straight from the heart, you know. Phil is in the house. Thank you for
What up,
stopping
Phil?
by, Phil. And you stream with Phil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got the Herline every Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. We talk about the latest food topics. We challenge mainstream archaeology. We give you the babe of the week. I mean, there's no other
Aliens.
stream like that. We hit you a little bit of everything. So you come with the Hardline, you'll stay. So just give it a shot. Every Monday we're hanging out on Zay Comics channel. So
I haven't been able to catch one in a while. So
yeah, it
I have
happens, but
not. I've been working.
yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, figure with
All
the
right.
no seed oils.
We're
That's another
done.
big thing we hit on.
You have your logo shirts, which are so dope.
Yeah,
Like, I love that damn logo.
I've been
And I
wanting
think
to do shirts for a while, so this is like the perfect
yeah, is that
opportunity.
your
I
first
thought
shirt?
like, yeah, first one like official. I offered one on like we had it on like Zay Comics website and stuff. We
Yeah.
had some Parline shirts and stuff, but it wasn't really something I was promoting much. Like this is specifically something that I've been kind of like promoting and kind of wanted to like. I want people to get them and kind of wear them and enjoy them. So because I would love to do more in the future.
When do you plan on finishing this book? Like,
Right now it's looking like the proof got approved, so I'm just kind of waiting to get it back. So maybe a couple of weeks. I'm probably thinking middle December. If everything goes right, I can start shipping because I already have all the supplies and everything. I already have the trading card. I'll probably have to figure out how long the shirts take, so I'll probably have to ship those out separately. But the moment I get the ash cans in, I can just start shipping them out because I already have the mailers and everything from fulfilling the ace. So, you know,
So
hopefully,
everything's just good to go. And I mean, you've pretty much, you've already finished this first book, correct? I should
yeah,
say. You finished this book, this Bloodbone book in full,
yeah,
correct?
mhm.
So you're already working on the second book.
Yeah. Technically, yeah, I like to call it. This one's kind of like a zero issue. So, like
Okay.
the
So
next
it's
Bloodborne would be like
zero issue.
Bloodborne number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who you were working with on that?
Uh, Nothing's kind of locked in, but I already have some pages in from Joe Ball. He's
Oh,
actually
okay.
he's doing 4 pages. He's tackling some of the characters that you see on the cover. He's
All
gonna
right.
be kind of doing little introductions to them and stuff because, like I said, they'll play like a bigger role, and you kind of go see like his rogues gallery kind of expand. And Joe's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe Ball actually did the original design for Bloodbone.
Really? Do
He's
you have
actually,
it?
yeah, I have it. I
Can
think
you show it?
it's probably deep in my Google Drive somewhere. But
I should have told you to get it
yeah,
ready.
I'll share that out in the future. He actually did Bloodbone. He did Massive, which is the big character there.
Yeah.
We showed the pages, and he actually did another character for something else I'm working on. So I worked with Joe Ball. He did an amazing Ace Volume One second printing cover.
Yes, you did.
So that's my guy right there. So yeah, getting him to work on some pages. He already did the first two, and he's kind of like doing the layouts for 3 and 4 already. And I'm just kind of waiting right now to kind of you know get some behind the scenes stuff kind of cleared up. So hopefully by the start of the new year, it'll be kind of like a fresh start, and I can kind of really start locking down people for projects. But for right now, there's just a lot of moving parts. So yeah, and I'm not somebody who likes to get too far ahead unless I have stuff locked down. You'll see me like I won't even like announce stuff until like it's then people will be like, "Oh, I didn't know you had this cover, done already and stuff," and it's like fully colored. I'm like, yeah, this just like I don't like to like play around unless it's fully locked in. Like I'll have it for 3-4 months on my Google Drive and just
Yeah.
like my Dropbox, and then like I'll drop it just like out of nowhere. So that's kind of how I like to deal with, because if you kind of start talking before you kind of have everything locked in, it can kind of bite you in the ass. So,
No,
take
no,
it little
you're
by
right.
little.
You're right, actually, if you think about it, so that way, like, you already know you have everything concrete for you
Yeah.
before you present it. So
Hmm.
that way you don't have to deal with the stress of having to make changes or whatever the case, or say there's some behind the scenes, whatever that goes down. You don't need to explain any of that either.
Yeah.
So it's like highly professional, I think. So,
And
what's
also,
the,
like, a lot of artists and stuff that I work with are busy guys. They have a lot of projects and stuff. So you always kind of have to fit in around their schedule sometimes too. So it's always good to kind of just handle it, excuse me, behind the scenes. And then once everything's locked in, you can kind of show it off.
and do whatever you want with it. So, are you be putting this on Indiegogo? Like basically not the Ashcan, but when the issue one comes out, are you going to put it on Indiegogo or
Uh, I'm looking at putting it in some sort of crowdfunding site right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with Indiegogo that I'm not feeling too comfortable with.
yeah,
So kind of want to see where everything ends. But yeah, I would like to do some, whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's people are talking about Zoop.
yep,
You know,
Zoop. I heard about Zoop over
yeah,
there the what was it over the summer. So, and I was like, Zoop, what's Zoop? You know, because I believe Kaiju's and Cowboys was on Zoop. That's how I found out about that.
yeah.
So,
Brian
or could be
Christow put out
Washington.
one of his campaigns there too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So this, I don't know if there are more alternatives than Indiegogo. I just think they all have to be explored.
yeah,
But no matter where you choose to do it, do it where you need to do it. So I hate when people get petty and they're like, I'm not going to back this because this is here and this is here. No, if you want the book, back it, and you're going to support your person, support your people.
yeah.
So that's what it is. What would you say? Like, what do you think? Like, How do you think this is going to be received by
Uh,
people?
People seem excited about it from everything I've shown. Like, it's actually gotten like me tons of fan art. Like,
Mm,
I've gotten like 6, 7 pieces of fan art just when I was start showing it off. People just like the character design, how he looks and stuff.
yeah, it
So
is
I
a
hope,
cool character design.
yeah. So I hope when they see it and they get it, they'll be even more excited for like a big campaign and stuff, and to get a lot of like slam buddies and other things. I want like people to be excited. That's kind of what excites me, man. When I got like feedback for the Ace, and
Yeah,
people really seemed to dig it and they kind of wanted more. It really motivated me to like, sometimes it becomes a thing about people don't want to seem like they're patting themselves on the back. Excuse me,
I'm
guys.
getting patted on the back right now.
Yeah. But I'm super proud of Volume 2. Like, I
Yeah,
think it's infinitely better than Volume 1, and I'm proud of Volume 1. Like, but I think I look at the art, I look at the story. I've read it multiple times, because I've had copies in my hand, and I'm like, this is really good. Like, as cool as the first one was, like, I think this one blows it away. And like, if you haven't gotten it yet, I think you're missing out, because there was some kind of roughness. It's my first time writing, my first time kind of telling a story, working with artists. But I think you can see such a big progression that you can see, like, well, volume 3, which I've already finished the script for. I'm just working on the dialogue now. It's gonna be even bigger and better. And like, like I said, I'm putting it down. You don't want to miss this. If you're like a fan of like, the superheroes in space, if you like that kind of sci-fi, if you like Green Lantern, if you like, uh, you know,
you want me to pull it up?
yeah, if you like kind of like those the challengers, that's kind of space kind of heroes and stuff like that, I think you'll really dig this. I think there's a lot of cool characters. I think the art is really kind of leveled up. Like, where Canales is doing is great. How Sweens, I got a great cover by Doodle Bags. So like, I'm like super pumped about it. Like, I really think like people are gonna love it if they give it a chance. So
I'm going to pull up VA's Volume 2 now because that's still going. There we go. I'm going to play the trailer real quick.
sure.
First, I got to take myself off screen because of goddamn Comcast. So, hold on. Let me stop my cam for a second. Play this trailer. And that's running until December
December 1st.
1st, you said. So people are going to have to both the Ash Can for Bloodbone and the Ace Volume 2 and December 1st.
Yep.
That's it. It's your last chance. Until you probably put out the Ace Volume 3, if you're going to have Volume 2 up on that. And until you probably, I don't know, are you going to re-release the Ash Can on the Bloodbone campaign or no?
No, the Scan's kind of what it is. I
Okay.
might release like the pages in like a bigger format maybe down the road. Get
Mm-hmm.
them colored and do like a big like maybe 4 or 5 issue kind of hardcover or something.
Oh,
But
that
the
would be
Ashkin's gonna be very kind of limited. It's gonna be like a collector's kind of like the old like people remember when Wizard used to do like the special 0 issue ash cans. They
yeah.
were very limited. You could only get them through them. So I kind of like the idea of the exclusivity and something cool that's like a collector's kind of piece.
No, no, I think that is really cool too. So if you had to choose, right? If you had to choose for people right now to back volume 2 of the Ace or go and get the Ash Can for Bloodbone.
I'll tell them to grab that featured perk right there that says Ace Volume 1 and Volume 2 because
Okay.
you will never get those two covers ever again.
All
Those
right.
two are special covers. That Bloodbone cover I will be using again. It won't be foil, but it's so good. I'll probably use it again. But those two right there, those are be exclusives. And if you're a fan of Joe Ball, you'll want that Joe Ball. If you're a fan of Doodle Bags, you'll want that because even when I do like reprints of those issues, they'll have different covers. Uh, you know, so
That's a gorgeous cover.
yeah, it's beautiful. Colors pop and everything. Like I wish I had one in hand, but I'm inundated with boxes and shipping supplies. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mess over here in my apartment. So uh, yeah,
It's a mess over here too. And now I have a light, so I can't even hide it.
yeah.
So I haven't even had a chance to put this room together. I got like
Oh,
all
what
my
up, Pagina?
collectibles are over here. What is up, Padrino? And what's up, Jasper Plan 9? Thank
What
you
up?
for coming by this evening. So I appreciate the support and appreciate you guys coming to support Edwin too with his 2 projects. I
I
mean,
think
you're just like banging out projects.
yeah. I've
Like,
been very,
when do
very
you
fortunate
stop?
guy.
Like,
Uh,
do you take a break
oh
or
yeah,
you
like
just
I've had to pace myself. Like there's stuff that I want to do even more now, but it's all like on the very early stages. Like
like what?
right now, anybody who knows I did a short story for Alterna in
Yes,
one of
yes,
their
you did.
issues.
It was
I
phenomenal.
have more with that Viking story.
Oh, so you're gonna
Like
continue it?
yeah, but like I said, it's
Ah,
something where I have to like pace myself and be like, you can't work on like 5 projects at once. You gotta like, but it's a lot of cool stuff coming. Like I think sometime next year, I might be doing maybe another ass can with a Viking story where you'll get like the alternate story
yeah.
pages, and then you'll get like a continuing part to that. So I definitely be on the lookout for that. It's not going where people think it is. If you saw that last panel in that story, you kind of see kind of where the twist is going. So it's kind of bigger than what it looks. So
Oh,
I hope people kind of go back. I think you can still get the issue on alterna.com.
yes, you
Yeah.
definitely can.
So
Let me
yeah.
see
So I'm
if I can
excited for
pull
that.
that up right now too, so people can see that. Turn put up.
Yeah, and then I even have like another kind of short story that I'm trying to kind of find a spot for. It's kind of like a small part of like a bigger kind of. I've had kind of this story that's kind of been in the back of my head for like the past 20 years, and I just haven't really figured out where to put it because it's so like daunting and it feels like a movie.
What's the genre?
It's like I consider it my response to Watchmen.
Okay, that's
It's kind of
interesting.
something very early on. Read books like Dark Knight Returns and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like post-apocalyptic kind of, you down on superheroes kind of stuff. So I kind of wanted to kind of give my take on that. I came up with it when I was like 17, and I've been kind of piecing it together in my head for like the past 20 years. So
So that's like your passion project, you would say?
yeah, it's really something that's big and kind of, kind of, it's the only thing about me that'll kind of give you a take on how I feel about superheroes and writers and all that kind of stuff. Like I think you can read my real personality into that comic, unlike the other stuff. The other stuff is just stuff that's fun, kind of fun stories. This will be something that's actually like, you'll
More
get the real
serious?
me. You'll get the real me if you kind of look underneath the veil of like, post-apocalyptic superheroes. You'll kind of see like where I'm coming from.
And this is where everyone can get this issue here on Alterna Comics. Um, it's free shipping on orders of $30 or more. You can get a crap ton of comics for $30 on Alterna's website. So you can pull up the issue. It was issue number, hold on.
I believe it was number 18. It's the
Yeah,
one with the Kenneth Rockefeller 12 there.
hold on.
18. Yeah. Came out on a Wednesday.
It is,
Let
hold on.
me see if you can.
Did I even spell Wednesday today?
They're
Like,
18, yeah. It's got an amazing
yeah,
Kenneth
it's right
Rockefeller
here.
cover. Yeah. And it's got a story about some Vikings, which, it's kind of, there's more to it. And it's got some really sick artwork by Avery Butterworth. He did the people for Phil. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. People.
Just beautiful, like black and white gray tones and stuff. Like I love his artwork, and it's really like a pleasure to get to do this story and get it published, have my name on an official kind of comic book company.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, like I said, but there's more to this. There's more that I want to do with it, and I'm
Well,
hoping.
I think this is something that you need to do more with personally. So I love the fantasy kind of. That's like my thing is fantasy, and that conveys fantasy to me. And plus, you have Vikings and just so badass. So I'm all about this. This was great. So I'm happy to hear that you're continuing this and going to, do more with it. Just because I was hoping you wouldn't just like leave it as what it was. Like,
I'm honest. Like I said, I already have like a script ready for it. It's just kind of finding the right time to kind of get together and getting it done. But yeah, like I love creating. I love like tackling these different ideas and stuff, and the fact that I'm able to kind of find avenues to put them out, it's really cool. So
I mean, so, when it comes to comic books, right? And like the comic book writers and everything, who would you say like your main influences were or your main inspiration? I don't think I've ever asked you that. Like,
my main influence as far as writing has been Jeff Johns.
Jeff
I'm a
Johns.
massive Green Lantern fan. I love
Okay.
what he did with that whole universe, how he expanded it out and kind of made it the biggest comic in the world for his run, or however long he was there, 7 8 years. It was basically the number one comic. He ended up with Blackest Night, which was basically outselling everything,
Oh,
and that
yeah.
all started in the pages of Green Lantern, a book that many people are kind of writing off. They're like, oh, they're bringing back Hal Jordan. Like, what's that gonna do? The next thing you know, like 5 6 years later, it's the biggest comic in the world. And so that's kind of what I want to do with the Ace. I want to grow that out and have people just getting into the world of characters and kind of keep growing it each issue. And when they look back on it, they can look back at all the issues and see kind of, oh, I can kind of see where this was and little
Yeah.
hints and different things, kind of, and enjoy this kind of big epic story that's gonna span multiple issues. So that's kind of my dream.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I mean, the way that you're heading is basically like it's becoming your reality. I just was wondering because today, I ask my question of the day every day. So, do you ever get writer's block? What do
Oh
you
yeah,
do to get over writer's block? Like,
you gotta push away from the table. for me anyway. You know, I
That's
can't
what works for
force
you.
it if I can't. If I feel that the dialogue isn't coming, the ideas aren't coming, you can't force it because it'll be trash, and you're just doing stuff to do it. So like I gotta step away, and then I'll go do something else, and usually I'll get re-inspired. Something will hit me. Like one day,
Hmm.
like I'll be, I'm working on Bloodbone and stuff, and I'm thinking like, it'll be cool for the ace. And then like that's what I feel like. Now I gotta write this down if I forget. So you just kind of go, and then when you get re-inspired, you gotta kind of ride that wave because it won't last forever. So like I said, I kind of anytime I get kind of stuck, I just push away, do something else, and then once you're already in a creative space doing other stuff,
Hmm.
like new ideas will come to you, and then you're like, oh, now I can tackle that. I got stuck there. Now I finally have the answer. So
Oh, Papa Pills just said with the Green Lantern that they showed up for the EVS art and stayed for Jeff John's writing.
yeah,
So
pretty
I
much.
would say like a lot of people are in agreement about that series and about his writing style as well. That is still one of the most popular Green Lantern runs. I was just in the shop working all through tourist season and we sold out of it. So that says a lot if it's selling out to this day. So it has longevity within the industry,
Yeah,
which that's ideally what you want as a writer or when you create a book. You want the book to have some kind of longevity. You want it to be a book that people can pick up and different generations of people can pick up time and time again. So I think that's one of the cool things to happen with like great comic book series. um yes, Chris, I believe so, he did create.
yeah. He created
Yeah, he like
most of those characters.
majority of them. Yeah. So let's see here. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm delayed this evening because I'm wiped out.
Yeah.
I was going to ask another question about this Viking book. So, are you going to continue to work with the same artists when you?
I would love to. Like I said,
Yeah.
all the artists have different things. I know Avery's working on some other stuff for Phil, and like I said, I gotta kind of lock him down and kind of, I need to give him like a full plate. When I come to artists, I got to be like, all right, I need you for this, and this. And then, you know, that's kind of how I approach everything. And then once I'm off the table, if I don't really have anything locked in for them, I just kind of let them do their thing. And then, like I said, I'll reach out to them when I can. But, like I said, the way I want to tell the story is that it's going to give you some kind of different viewpoints.
Mm,
So, I could do like another artist, uh, but
okay, that would
preferably
be
like
interesting.
I,
So,
I
do a different viewpoint from a different artist, like a different art style completely. That's kind of cool. That's really cool, actually. Now that I think about it.
yeah, because you're kind of dealing with two basic things. Like you're dealing with the Viking side,
Yep.
and then you're dealing with this other kind of like uh, city, kind of more kind of technological kind of side.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really have to, be the exact same because you in this story you basically meet the Vikings and you kind of see they wind up in this kind of island and then they kind of get through the desert, the jungle and stuff, and they see this big kind of like current looking city with buildings and stuff, and you're kind of like, okay, that's weird. So now you're gonna kind of see the characters who are in the city, kind of see what their story is before they meet the Vikings. So that's kind of would
Actually,
be like the second part. So,
that's really cool. I think you totally should do that. Have a different artist do it, and then even
and
if it
there's
was in the same
actually
book, that would be
yeah,
really cool. Like visually, for me at least, I think
yeah,
that
and
would
there's
be awesome.
actually like a third piece, which I'll give you now. It's
Give
actually
it.
it's gonna be like a flashback piece.
Okay.
That's again, it's gonna have like a different kind of style, and it's gonna be its own thing. So it's all
Hmm.
these different kind of things that are different, kind of meshing together in the end. That's kind of again, this song completely different than anything else than the Ace, Bloodbone, anything else. This is like it's kind of weird idea that I
No,
just
I love it.
came up
It
with one
works.
day, and it just kind of like this is so interesting. I don't know if anybody has done this before. Like maybe they have, but it just kind of I started getting all these kind of different influences that I thought like they made sense. So when I kind of came up with the overarching thing, I have it in like pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So the first piece was the Viking story.
Yeah.
The second piece is the city
The
people, and then the third
technological.
piece is the flashback that kind of sets up a lot of stuff. So when we go back to the the fourth part would be the Vikings interacting with the city people, and we kind of see where the conflict begins. But you don't get that until you get kind of all kind of these other views until you finally get to part four. So I think it makes it more interesting for me anyway.
I think it sounds more interesting to me that way, especially if you're going to use different artists for every like viewpoint. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool idea. I love that. Hurry up and do it.
Yeah, guys. So please back the Ace Volume Two and Black Bloodbone so I can do this Viking story.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like everything that I make, anything that I make goes back into making comics. So
And then
it's basically,
eventually
yeah.
you're going to get your passion project out there. So,
Hoping one day, if anybody anybody has like wants me to write a big kind of like 4 hour epic movie that they want to drop couple $100 million on, and you'll get to see my epic.
it's
Yeah,
going to be never ending.
yeah. That's the cool thing, like and as like things go on, like things change, stories change, and I kind of the more time I get with stuff, everything kind of becomes more trimmed down, and kind of the fat goes away, which is
Yeah.
something I've kind of learned. And the more I've kind of written, I've kind of learned to kind of throw away the stuff that isn't needed, and I think it's also helped me in my writing more. So
If you
it's
could
also
rank
fun.
like your work, how would you rank your work? Like from best to like out of all your work that you have out right now.
The best thing I've done is the Ace Volume Two.
Okay.
Behind that, I think it's the Viking story.
Okay.
Just because I remember kind of getting it in my hand and reading it and just being like, even if it wasn't me attached, I would dig this Viking story.
Yeah.
And then behind that probably be Bloodbone, and then behind that would be the Ace. And there's no put down on the Ace because it's when I look back on my life, the Ace Volume One might be the thing that I'm most proud of that I've done in as far as writing. Just the fact that I was able to make the dream I had at like 15 years old to make comics.
Yep. And come
The
through.
fact that I actually got to make that true. And I've learned every lesson that I've learned from that book has been invaluable in working with other people, in working as a writer, in self publishing. Like every lesson that I've learned has been from that book. And like I said, I'm super proud of it. Like I think it's got a lot of good stuff that I hope to make great. And that's kind of what Volume Two was. It took all that kind of the good stuff that was there. I just kind of pushed it and took all of that for Volume Two. And I'm super, super like excited. If anybody out there has read it and has thoughts, uh, you know, uh, please share them with me because I would love to get some feedback on it.
You want
Excuse
to
me.
get some feedback on it. So you're open to feedback.
Of course, always.
Yeah, that's important because there's so many people that cannot take criticism. They cannot take criticism. They can't take feedback. They don't know how to, they're against growth. You know what I'm saying? Like you're of a growth mindset because you know whether the feedback you get is good or bad, it's stuff that even if you don't want to hear it, you need to hear it.
Yeah.
It's what's going to make you grow in the end as a writer. And, like you said, with the first campaign, all the lessons that you learned were invaluable. And that's because obviously you learned things that you could apply to situations now. So
Yeah.
many people think they don't need to hear any of that.
No, I'm a work in progress every day. Everything I do, I try to get better. But this is all still pretty new to me. Like, I'm still in the beginning stages, so I'm not delusional about anything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like I said, if something's not working, you got to make tweaks to it. it's good. Like, like I said, when people get Bloodbone, you know, uh, please let me know feedback. Like let me know what you think.
I think it's interesting too. Like every book that you're putting out is a different genre, pretty much. Like for the most part.
Yeah, it's if I'm gonna do something that's gonna be in the kind of like space alien kind of field, it's all
Yeah.
gonna be in the stories of the Ace.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to kind of like. I even had like a story that I did that I'm probably never gonna do, but I read this whole thing and I was just thinking like this is too close to the Ace. Like this is like I'm kind of like just kind of forcing this. And I just said like, nah, that's not that's let's put the lead on that and just kind of focus on and kind of using some of these cool ideas and use them on the Ace because it's
Yeah, that's
just
what I was gonna say to
it's
you.
you're just like making yourself too thin and just like it just wouldn't work. You're just like just kind of make every story their own ideas, make them all different. It also helps me because there's only as much as I might love the Ace, I
Yeah.
can't be in that headspace all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
Like I need something else. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of aliens and spaceships. Like it's like there's only so much you can put into that. Let me just show this guy kicking ass and taking names. That's fun to do. Let's just go into that for a
Yeah,
while.
no, it is. It definitely is fun. Chris Fisk says that praise is nice for the ego, but it stagnates one's potential. And that is very true. I agree with that 100%. And Papa Pill says a one-man house of ideas.
Trying.
Yeah. So I'm trying to pull back up the Ace now. Since you're saying the Ace is the one, like right now, if you had to choose between Bloodbone and the Ace to go for the Ace, I'm gonna pull up the Ace. So let me share this. Present. Like I'm so like every time I see the present button, it confuses me so much because for a while it was just share, and then
Yeah.
they made it all fancy and it's present now. Like
Don't fix what's not broken, people.
I know,
Like, I
right?
need when I get back to my streaming, it's gonna be a whole experience trying to mess around with it on StreamYard again.
I have to stream more consistently. I haven't been able to. I had a lot going on work wise. Spencer had a lot going on. There was a lot going on with the Death Curse campaign. I mean, I do stream on Tuesdays. I'm one of the co-hosts for Joe Sontag's channel with Sean Ehrenhart. So I get to go in there and appreciate comic book art. And that's a lot of fun. But I got to get back to my interview. My interviewing is like my passion. I love doing interviews. I like finding out what makes you guys' minds work and like where your mind is at when you do this and processes and your struggles and you know everything about that. Spencer also said that the books for Death Curse right now are out now, including reships. So we had to reship some things, and we just got a couple commissions to wrap up. So that is what's going on with the Death Curse campaigns for anybody that is wondering. So I want to go to, where is it? Hold on. This epilogue here, which also means the extras will be going up on the website in the next coming weeks. Yes, there is a Death Curse website, guys. So, and that's still being all put together. It's up. It's running. It has like our Patreon stuff on there and who's a part of the team and everything. But all of the actual stuff is going to be put up on it. Trading cards, a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. You can find that deathcurseclub.com. So, but this epilogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to talk a little bit about this, just because.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for anybody who read Volume 1, uh, Basically the ace structured into basically three stories. You have the main story, you have an epilogue story, and then you have what I call like an origin story, introducing kind of the past of some different characters. The first issue focused on Angelique, kind of
Yes.
introduced some of her backstory before she shows up in volume two, and
She's
one of
awesome.
like the main characters. Yeah,
She's awesome.
she's
I love
incredible.
that
So
ending.
much
I
fun
was
to
like,
write.
what the like
Yeah,
literally like it's an all ages book, so I feel like I can't swear, But I was like, what the fuck? Like so but yeah.
yeah. So basically, the my idea with the epilogue is to kind of I was into Lost at first. Uh, so anybody who watched Lost knows that you have the story of these passengers who get shipwrecked in a city.
Yeah.
And the thing Lost would do is they would kind of throw you like a little wrench. Like one day, you're all the survivors are trying to like survive on this city, and then all of a sudden you go down and you see this guy in a hatch doing
Hmm.
stuff, and you're like, how the hell does that tie into the shipwreck? And then eventually, as the seasons go, you kind of see where the story goes.
Yeah.
So the epilogue kind of works a little bit in that way. Like it gives you little shots of stuff that doesn't really make sense. Like you'll see stuff that will contradict it, and you'll just kind of like, that doesn't really, where's this going? But it's only gonna make sense until down the line. And each thing is written specifically to get you to a point where everything is gonna interconnect. There's gonna come a point where there are no more epilogues. It'll just be the main story.
Issue 5.
So yeah, and Soon's does
I was just guessing. I was just guessing.
the yeah. So the first one has Ace breaking into this heavily guarded prison
Mm.
to free a shark creature, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. And so the second one has the Ace going through this kind of frozen kind of planet where he kind of ends up going through this kind of like Stargate to get to like a specific location. Like I said, it's all only gonna really tie in until several issues down the line. But each one kind of will give you like a little interesting glimpse of like the Ace is on a hunt in a search for something. And like I said, as more kind of you see more epilogues, you'll kind of start getting little things, but it won't really make sense until everything ties together. But it's got amazing art by Sweens, and like I said, that panel it doesn't even have to have dialogue. Like
No, it
he's
doesn't
so
need it.
good.
It just
Excuse me.
the blues with the black and everything. This was done beautifully. I remember when we took a look at this a while back. This was. I just wanted you to talk about it because I'm so drawn to the artwork here,
Yeah.
and I like the idea of the epilogue. And of course, like Akula here is your breakout
Yeah.
character, I would say.
Yeah. So I decided to do the
Everyone likes a freaking shark.
yeah, the Akula origins basically giving you a glimpse of like a young Akula.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a big role in this issue. You only see him for like a small bit, but people really liked them, and I thought like the idea of giving you like something that's Akula focus without having to shoehorn him into the story was really like cool. And then I worked with How Comics on it, and it's like a fun little origin story where you kind of see how badass and kind of how he really kind of started to earn his reputation as like this kind of feared bounty hunter. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's some of my favorite things anybody has ever done. That's mine. Like I hope people dig it because it's so much fun. He's such a character. Like there's infinite that you could do with him. Like I compare a lot to Spike from Buffy,
Oh,
where
really?
he's just kind of like he can be annoying, he can be like
Hmm.
dangerous, he can be funny, like he can literally do anything, and it's just kind of how you want to write him. So he does play like a bigger role in volume three, just because it kind of where I took the story, it made sense for him to like have a bigger role. But
So
yeah,
did
he's a
you do that for the people? Like because he's like the breakout, you know what I'm saying? Like did you take that into consideration or was
yeah.
that your plan all around?
I'll
Like
take into
all along.
consideration, but it also kind of made sense to where the story was going. So it kind of like when I kind of put both things together, like Because one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to shoehorn something in. That's
Okay.
something that I will try to avoid.
Explain that to people. Like
Yeah,
what
it's basically
shoehorning
like
is in
you,
writing. Like,
you basically take a character or something people like and you force it in, even though it doesn't really make sense or really benefit the story. You're just doing it because you feel the need to.
so it's
That's
not
like I
genuine.
said, it's not, and I think it affects the story and the writing. So, like I said, the ability to do the Akula origin story made sense for the book,
Yeah.
and that way I didn't have to mess with because I already had written volume 2 had already been done. Like
Yeah.
the moment I finished volume 1, volume 2 was done. So I knew like at least through volume 2 and then almost kind of halfway through volume 3, everything was already plotted out. So like, you know, when I add him to volume 3, it kind of makes sense to
It
where the
makes sense.
story and it's not nothing that where I had to force it and be like, all right, now I have to add a cooler. No,
Yeah.
like no, it makes sense for him to like do this in volume 3. And like I said, you know, right now he's not really even in volume 4 because the
Okay.
story doesn't really call for him to be in volume 4. Now, obviously, there's different things, and my writing process continues. Like, if I get feedback and I forget different things, I might have to tweak something of what I already have for volume 4 in my head,
So
you
what?
know?
Let's see. So we get this is volume two. So volume three. You know. All right. So what can people expect out of volume three?
Oh, volume 3 is going to be fun. Volume 3 is going to, I'll say this now, it's going to be a fun little team up. And that's kind of the most that I can say. But, it's going to, all
I'm
the
just trying to get it
characters,
out of you. I want to
all the
know.
characters are gonna come together, and it's gonna be basically, you know, it's gonna be the defenders in space,
All right.
So yeah, it's a fun story. Like I said, I'm working on the dialogue now, I'm really been having fun with it. Kind of been getting some feedback from different people, just kind of seeing how the story flows and everything. But yeah, it's uh, trying to do a lot of fun things with it, and like I said, kind of continuing the story, and I'm kind of right now it's looking basically like 4 issues are gonna be kind of like a story, like
So is that your arc there? The first four issues
yeah,
and arc.
it's looking like it's gonna be the first 4, and then it'll continue, but it'll be kind of a little slightly different. We're gonna take like a little jump to something else from where it's going right now.
So would you put out a trade then, or a
Yeah,
collected edition?
I
Yeah.
definitely want to put something together, big like hardcover with everything like that's Ace related, just in one kind of volume. I think would be super dope. So
Would you put like behind the scenes stuff and everything in there too? That like I love stuff like
yeah,
that. I wish like I wish more creators would do like more like as a perk or something, or add on, whatever you want to do. I don't even care, but more books that have like the behind the scenes stuff, like the processes. I want to see the way certain people script. I want to see how the character designs were changed. I want to see all of that. So anything that can possibly go into making the comic book, I want to see. I'm curious about. I love
I can
like
definitely do like
love,
an Ace evolution
yeah,
because I do
that'd
have
be
like
cool.
the stuff where like I don't know how many people know, but Sweens actually did the original character design for the Ace.
Yeah.
So I do have like some of like the early images he sent me of like what he was working on, and then how it evolved to like Canales, and then other people put their own little tweaks on it. I do have like a bunch of like I've had like a bunch of different artists do stuff for the Ace, even like prints and stuff, and
That'd be
so
cool.
like
Like
it'd be cool
combine
to kind of get
everything.
everything together, and you can see kind of like the beginning till now. So
Yeah.
maybe something like that.
I love that. I love that. That would be awesome. You could even like line them up on like the two pages, like put them across like all the different styles of the ace and
Yeah,
everything, and just the whole ace evolution. You could literally call it the ace evolution. Like it's like basic as that is. I mean, but that's what it is. It's
yeah.
cool. I love stuff like that. What's something like different do you think you're going to do with the next campaign that you put out? Like, are you going to change the way you've been doing things? Are you going to do different like what's something new that you're going to do with it? You're going to change the way you're promoting it? Like, I'm just curious. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make some tweaks and some changes. I might have to like really I've been kind of considering doing maybe like some sort of to do those questionnaires, that you can
Oh,
kind of
okay.
do and send it to you like your backers of stuff about
Hmm.
maybe they might like to see in the campaign. Because I just feel like,
I just gave you what I want to see.
yeah,
So
yeah, I just feel like maybe my reach hasn't been enough, but you know, maybe I need to kind of get more, stream more, just different kind of ideas. I feel like it's kind of stagnated a little bit, so you kind of need like a almost like a new approach for kind of things. So that's kind of what I'm kind of messing around with in my head, kind of getting some different feedback about different kind of like approaches and different tiers and different kind of stuff that you can do to kind of breathe a little life back into it.
yeah. I feel like with the campaigns, it's like up and down, up and down. And what everyone has told me across the board is that the second campaign is the hardest to do. It is the hardest campaign to do for whatever reason. So then the third campaign, I guess it gets easier. So I don't understand why that is like that, but something about the issue twos. It's kind of like that too in the comic shop now that I think about it. The issue two never sells as well as an issue one, but then when it comes to issue three will sell like an issue one. Because by issue two, people are kind of getting like figuring out their audience base and everything. So what happens is like the people that will buy your issue two, they're going to spread the word because they're going to know for sure, like, oh, I really like this book. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A lot of people will buy issue one because they want to take a chance on it. They want to take a chance, you know. So by issue two, you kind of had like the people that are back in that. That's people that really into issue one. You know, this is just like from what I've heard and just what I've seen, and this is just my opinion
yeah,
only. So, um, and I can only be honest about my opinion and share it. Not that it's a correct opinion, but it's just what I've noticed. So, I mean, you'll see with the third campaign, see what happens. So, and that's why I think it's also important too. People offer their earlier books on each of their campaigns, even if it's like with a different cover or whatever the case, you know. So, Chris Fisk said, I'm splurging on book two. If it sells worse than book one, I'm in trouble. So, I guess Chris is in the process of doing book two for his series as well. So, yeah, the book twos. Let's see. So, what are things like, what are, I just lost what I was going to say. Jeez, and I was thinking about it for the past 5 minutes. Now it just like, I lost track on my own mind. But I was going to say, like, who are people that you like to work with, or what other projects would you like to take on? Like, as far as like working with someone, or like getting into like a compilation or whatever the case. Like, you know how a lot of people have been doing these books. I call it like a compilation. That's not the technical term for it, but people are all working together to put out one book together, kind of like what you do with It Came Out on a Wednesday. You
yeah.
know, is there anybody you would like to work with? What's up, Rick Saylor? Thank you for stopping
Rick, what
by.
up?
And also, what's up to Sugar Chris? Because we were
What's
talking
up?
when your name was pulled up. So I appreciate you guys coming by to my little stream. So,
Yeah, I
is
mean,
there anyone
I've
you would
been
like to work with that you haven't worked with? Pretty much.
I've been super fortunate. I've gotten a lot of the people that I want to work with. Uh, personally speaking, if the chance to do something with Kenneth Rocafort
Yeah.
uh, opened up, I did get my Kenneth cover, so thank you,
To get
Peter.
your kind of cover.
Thank you, Peter, for that one. But something else. I would love, obviously, dude's incredibly talented
Huge beast.
artist in every way possible. So I think he would kind of bring out like a beast in me if we did work together. Like I think it's kind of like Joe Ball. He's somebody who I just look at and just go, man, this guy's
Look at Jason
he's
wants to work with you too.
yeah, brother.
He wants to work
You
with
know,
all of us.
I'm definitely I'm definitely open to all possibilities, man. You know, I love collaborating. It hasn't kind of things haven't panned out kind of as much on that side yet.
Yeah.
But to me, the future is always kind of open. I like sitting down with people and bullshitting and getting ideas back and forth, and just kind of seeing what you can create. Especially when you come at from a love of comics and a love of like telling fun stories. If you're kind of open to stuff, like you can really come up with some magic. So like I said, I'm open to all sorts of ideas. Want to kind of keep flexing my writing muscle and kind of do things that I haven't done before. Like I did an actual kind of written story for Passions Tales of Novatera magazine, which was super scary for me because I've never written anything like that before.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that last time too. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that. That was something that I missed. That is something that's like up my alley that I completely missed because I was so busy at the time that was running. So, and I don't think it's available now. And that's like a whole fantasy.
yeah. Uh, like I said, I think he's planning on doing like a second one next year. So hopefully, anybody who missed out will get a chance to do that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that'll
like
be.
the idea of like you know flexing all those kind of writing muscles and doing stuff that I'm not comfortable doing, like even the type of stories that's not my wheelhouse. So, but I think when I was done with it, it made me better and like it gave me kind of an extra little confidence where I was happy with the story and he was happy with the story, which is the most important thing because I wanted to do good work for Passion. Passion is
Yeah.
he's my guy. So you always want to do good for the people that you're friends with and you respect. So
No, I agree with you. I agree with you completely, especially when you have the opportunity to showcase some of your talents. I think a challenge is important for everyone to have. So, like, pretty much, like, what genre haven't you done yet? Horror? You done horror, really? Unless what you did with Tales of Novatera is horror
well,
esque.
yeah, I think it's a little
A little horror esque. So, what
horror-ish. I'd
genre
say.
haven't you hit yet? You're
Uh,
putting out comics like a manga, like you're gonna
I
have
don't
more
know, like
genres than manga
the,
right
the,
now under your belt.
there
So,
is that I am a wrestling fan. So the wrestling comic has been an enigma that I don't know
ah.
anybody has solved. I hear good things about Powerbomb. I might
Do
have
a
to
power bomb, yeah.
take
That
take a
it
look
actually
and
is
see
really good.
if he solved my problem with wrestling comics. Uh, so yeah,
There's another one too that you might like. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to my comic collection in my phone so I can pull up the name of it because I can't think of it off of the top of my head. Crimson, uh, the Crimson Cage. Alex Cormack did the art in it and everything. Um, that has some wrestling stuff in it. It's
nice.
done by AWA, Upshot Comics, but that is a wrestling one. So
Yeah, Sugar Chris always teasing.
there aren't enough wrestling comic books actually now that I think about it. So
No,
yeah,
you
you'll
know,
have to fill a hole by doing
so
that.
it's always been like kind of that elusive idea where can I make this work? It's something that I would only want to tackle if I felt 100% it could be really great. Because like I said, I'm a huge few passions in life. One is wrestling, the other one's comic books. The
Yeah.
third would be probably like sports, like big like MMA fan, football, stuff like that.
MMA and football are the only things that I consider sports in my book. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So there's certain things where they're kind of ingrained in you and have been, and they're part of my life regularly. Like I'm
Yeah.
always, I just saw like uh, Izzy Israel Adesanya get knocked out. I was
Yeah.
jumping up and down like at 1 in the morning, like a man in my apartment, just like shadow boxing and just going crazy. So
You're a
yeah,
shadow box. You're a shadow
not
box.
really, but I was definitely, I
It's like
definitely got
instead
a
of
little too loud,
instead of the air guitar, you're just there,
a little too loud in the neighborhood where people are trying to sleep. But yeah,
throwing
that's
a
the thing
left hook.
about like sports and like like MMA and like wrestling and stuff. When it's at a high level, it
Yeah.
kind of gets into. So it's hard to. That's like the thing. It's so dynamic. Can you
Mhm.
really capture it and tell it in a way and on the page where it can feel as dynamic as it is? It is one of those things that kind of needs to be experienced more in the 3D space. So that's like it'd be the same thing if I was doing like an MMA like book or something related to that. It's like, can you really make that work in a way that feels would do it justice? Because you could do it. I mean, I've read wrestling comics before. People can do it, but they're just kind of like, that's cool.
But you want to convey the feeling that, like, when people see it,
Can you make these
visual.
characters pop off the page? And the
Yeah, I
hardest
mean,
thing for me is,
hmm.
can you make the actual wrestling action? Because wrestling has its own rules. It's not like you're doing like a fight. Like, you could do like you've seen like wrestling moves and stuff in comics where people are fighting. Captain America grabs a guy, he punches him over his head and slams him or whatever.
Yeah.
But can you make that work under the rules in the ring with a referee there? Like that's a lot. Like people don't really seem to get that. It's more than just. It has to feel like fluid when you're turning the page. It also can be just diagrams of guys doing moves. So
So
there's so much that goes into it. Like, can you make that actually work?
you need to find an artist that is able to draw very dynamically, So it's a lot of that. There's a lot that you could do. I mean, maybe do a whole complete, like, it would be expensive as fuck, but like a whole like holographic like comic book so it moves with the,
Yeah,
you know
three
what I'm
three D
saying? Like
three
the
D comic.
movement.
There might be the space for it.
You know what I'm saying?
Characters jumping off the page for real. So
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you could
never
do
know.
3D. Bring some 3D glasses. That would be pricey too. I feel like anything is possible though.
Yeah,
So, and you have a wrestling stream you were talking about too?
I have
Is
a pro wrestling channel. It's called
Yeah.
Indie Wrestling Aces. I basically just show videos of wrestling matches from around my area. I go to a lot of indie wrestling events. So I post some like matches and stuff, different highlights. So it's just for like people who are into indie wrestling, kind of getting to know different people before they kind of blow up and become like big time prime time TV stars.
Do you ever join in
Which
the
is,
matches?
it'd be fun. I have been dived on by a 200-pound man and nearly take wiped out in the front row. So yeah, it's when you see your life flash behind your eyes, you see this guy just diving right into you. You're like, yeah, it's a new one, but yeah.
You ever go to the backyard wrestling?
No, I actually participated in some backyard
You did.
wrestling when I was
You
like in
did.
high school. Yeah, we went to my buddy's
I gotta hear.
backyard and had like a Royal Rumble and stuff. I did win, so
You guys beat
I
the
am
shit out of
I
each other?
am. No, we kind of we know how to work it. But it was basically like just priceless, kind of dumb teenager entertainment. So
They used to do backyard wrestling like down the street. My sister used to go and whatever the case, but they used to like beat the living shit out of each other, like hit each other with 2x4s and
yeah,
everything. Like I would see the pictures, everyone was like all bleeding and everything. Someone got hit, they got hit with nails on a
yeah,
plank.
that's
Like
crazy.
what the hell is going on here? Like,
And next
so
thing you know, like probably 5 years later, that person was famous wrestler.
I don't know of any of them that became famous wrestlers. I don't know if they're doing indie wrestling stuff. I know we definitely had like the bootleg Hardy Boys around the neighborhood. I'll say that much with the
I think
Jenkos,
everybody
with the
had their bootleg
Jenkos
Hardy
on and
Boys
everything.
in the early 2000s. Every young teenage guy was trying to do the Jeff Hardy swanton in the backyard. Yeah.
That's when you know what? Wrestling costumes are the only costumes that no one will ever talk shit about a man wearing. Not once. I'll be damned. Like me, I love Macho Man. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard anyone say shit about him wearing fringes and fucking tassels or whatever. This wrestler wearing fishnets all over his whole body. Not Macho Man, but other wrestler. You know what I'm saying? You never hear anything about the costumes. Never. Never, never. So Chris Fisk is going. There's so many famous wrestlers from Massachusetts and New Hampshire. No, I know there's a bunch. I'm just saying, like personally, locally, like where I grew up, I don't know any like that would do in the backyard wrestling. Unhinged says he'll talk shit about a wrestler's costume, just not to their faces. Let's see. Pro wrestlers are the hardest working people in show business. I would say yes, and they do have to be like good actors. Although I always think it's crazy that the Miz is a wrestler for whatever reason, because I used to watch the Real World too. So I watch the wrestling and I watch the Real World, and I never would have thought that his drunk alter ego would have ended up becoming a pro wrestler ever in my life. So my dad watches like WWE, watches AEW, he watches the other one too. I'm trying to think. There's another one that's on too that he watches too. He watches like everything. That's like it's football and that, and then occasionally an MMA fight.
Yeah, this has been a rough football year for me. I'm not too happy. I'm a Broncos fan, and just the disaster that's been this season. It's been rough.
Listen, my Patriots are going to take like 5 years to rebuild. All right, so I'm getting used to taking L's a little bit. I've been spoiled being a Pats fan. Like, I mean, at the beginning, you know, I guess like my first Super Bowl, we lost to Green Bay. So, but then like every Super Bowl afterwards, for the most part, besides the two with, I won't discuss the names, but the Giants that we lost to. Yeah, like all we did was win. Now I don't know when we're going to get to the Super Bowl again, or even if, you know, are we going to get to the playoffs?
It's tough, man. You know, when you get like, you know, you start the season, you get so excited. You're like, oh, it's a year. We're gonna go deep. We're gonna do this, that, and then you're like, you just trash, and you're just like, no. It's early in the season. I already feel like I'm done. Yeah.
I would root for Brady, you know, be with the Bucks and everything, just because like I have a lot of respect for Brady. He's no longer with us. I'm Team Patriots all the way, but I will root for Brady, and then I'm like, oh, I got another team I can root for, you know. So, but I mean, he's not doing well either. So, yikes, you know, that's how I feel on that. So, let's see. Sugar Chris is saying Macho Man was great. Yes, he was great. He was the greatest. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That's literally why I have a Slim Jim addiction, was from the commercials I saw him as a kid. I shit you not. Like, he had a very short-lived career too. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions for Edwin? That's in the chat. I'm going to give him a second. Is there anything you want to show off while you're here? I know you said you're packing packing everything. You have everything is just away.
Yeah, you know, you have like anybody who's seen like the stickers for like, you know,
Spencer, blow them up
for the Ace. Yeah, see, we got a trading card there. See, got Kula Slam Buddies, which all have been shipped out to people.
You're gonna have to make more of those next time. I feel like.
Yeah, I love it. The gun in the back is my favorite thing. It's just so like, oh, I love the little details they kind of put in them, and they're sturdy too, which I really like. You know, for like you don't know what you're gonna get sometimes, but when I got these, I was super like happy with them. So I definitely would love to do more. I'm trying to get Mark to see if he can do like an all ages comic with all the Slam Buddies that are out.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be something I'd definitely be down with. Like you said, that's probably like a genre and something I'd love to like. It'd be so different from anything that I'm into because I don't have kids or anything. Like I just doing like a fun like G-rated kind of silly like adventure comic with all these Slam Buddy characters.
I got plenty of God kids, so if you want a test reader, I get 7 of them.
There you go.
I get 7 of them, and I work with kids. So
Yeah, I do have my
everything's
little
real.
niece who's just getting to that age where she can kind of notice
Get
stuff.
into the
So
stuff.
yeah,
She must have her slam buddy, I'm assuming.
well, yeah, she's
Yeah.
the first one because I got them in.
Yeah.
She moment she saw it, I was like, all right, I guess this one's yours. Yeah. So yeah,
Unhinged asked if you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Hmm. Probably pterodactyl.
A pterodactyl, really?
Yeah,
Why?
you can fly. Why not?
Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to say before we close out for the evening? Oh, wait. Would you ever sell the Ace or Bloodbone property to a professional wrestler to use as a gimmick? That's a good one, Chris.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to become Bloodbone, we can work something out.
Who would you know what though? Is there someone that is a professional wrestler or one of your indie wrestlers that that you like would want to become Bloodbone?
I mean, there's only one guy in wrestling in general that I think would actually look like Bloodbone. It's
Who?
his name is Brian Cage.
Okay.
He wrestles for AEW sometimes in Ring of Honor. He's so like top heavy, super jacked guy. So if he put on like the mask and like the singlet, he would look like Bloodbone because he's just so massive. So that's probably the one guy who actually could do it. I don't think any wrestler would want to wear the Ace armor to the ring. you know, have a stroke before he got to like lag up with somebody. I think that's a little harder to do. But yeah, Bloodbone would be pretty easy. All you need is like a singlet, some boots, and the mask, and you're good to
Maybe you
go.
gotta send him a t-shirt.
Maybe, you know,
Like fuck it.
send him the
Send him a
account and be
t-shirt and an ash can.
like, here you go, big guy. It's it's time for a new look.
Yeah, it works out. Before we head out, I just want to share something really quick. Give me 1 second because Cage is a beast. All right, how do I press? Oh, there we go. Like share screen. Can't even talk right now. All right, I'm gonna share the Twitter page up here right now. So on December 10th, there is going to be an epic art auction, and it's going to benefit Sean Earnhardt, who did the book Type 1. He's also Joe's co-host on his channel for the Tuesday night show that I stream with them. And he has his own channel too where he does art and stuff. So Sean lost his mother 2 weeks ago, and there's hospice and med bills. So they're going to be doing a huge epic art auction. There's going to be art from Dan Frager, Marat Michaels, Mike McCann, Chris Graves, Odin Dashko, Rich Ayala, Jonathan Wayshak, Alexa Lowe, Joe Sontag, Jason Bascone, Dan Dow, Shelby Robertson. There's a ton of names. There's going to be bundles, graded books, sketch cards, and more. It's going to be running across 3 different channels at different times. So at 8, it's going to kick off on Joe's channel. And then at 9, it's going to go over to Bancroft's channel. And then at 10, it is going to go over to Jeremy's channel. So it's for a great cause, and all the proceeds are going to go to help Sean out. And Sean is one of the most genuine people, I would say, within, the CG and just the indie comic book community. So everything's going to go to
Good
help
dude.
him. Yeah, he is a great human being. I love Sean. So that's on December 10th for anyone that is interested. So, save up some money, come through. You can get a Christmas gift for somebody, and just all proceeds are going to go to a really good cause, and you can help somebody out that needs the help. So December 10th, 8 p.m. at Joe's channel, 9 p.m. at Bancroft's, and at 10 p.m. on Jeremy's channel, Lord Crackhead. You may know him as. So, and there's a lot. There is a lot that's going to be up there. A lot of really cool stuff. And like I said, all proceeds are going to help Sean out and his family to provide some support for the hospice and the med bills. And, it's expensive. So, yeah. So I think that's it. I'll be back in where will you be first? I'm sorry. I'm so tired this evening. Forgive me. That's why you get a no makeup stream, everybody, and I'm in pajamas. I'm in a robe and everything here. So, like, where can everyone find you? Um,
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter until it disappears or not. I'm at Edwin Aces. I'm also John Aces on Facebook. Yeah, all the news or anything. You want to order Bloodbone, you want to give me some feedback on any of my projects or whatever, you can do it through that. Uh, how dare you, Jason? Of course, I'm wearing eyeshadow right now. Just,
I thought for sure you had lip liner on.
uh, but yeah, yeah, that's how you can find me. And I'm gonna be continuing to push the Ace and Bloodbone up until December 1st. So a couple more weeks. Grab a copy or two or three. Tell a friend, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so there's like what, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks
Yeah,
left.
but, yeah.
Running for your ash can, and also running for the Ace campaign. So you got a couple weeks to back. And then I will be back here on the Death Curse channel in 2 weeks. I'm going to be having Ginge and Pedro on to talk about their Second Chance campaign for Tropical Magics. So they'll be on Thursday. What is that? December 1st? What the hell is the date? I don't even know
I
right
believe
now.
it's a Thursday, yeah.
I think it is a Thursday, right? Am I losing my mind? I don't have a calendar in front of my face. Other than that, I'll be on Joe's channel on Tuesday for appreciating comic book art. So, yes, December 1st is a Thursday. So, Kayla Cuts Deep returns back December 1st, and I'm lining up more interviews. So, it will be more consistent for the wintertime span.
That's right, guys. If you're a creator, all you have to do is just pester Kayla on her DMs and just be like, please have me on your channel. And that way she'll get motivated to interview you too. So it's
Yeah.
actually one of my favorite streams to be on because you
Oh,
get to kind of dig a little deeper from the regular superficial kind of like, what's your book about? Which I'm all for. Sometimes you just want to get it in and out.
sometimes you need like
But,
a shill show and everything.
sometimes you need to like let's sit down and talk about stuff and let's see where the conversation goes. So
Pretty
yeah.
much. I just try to keep it real. That's why people see like when I mess up or whatever the case. I keep it real. That's just all I can be. So, and anyone that has a project, and if I like your project, I'm going to have you on. So, and I know one thing about you, Edwin, is you've been on a lot because you've done nothing but consistently good work in projects that I've been interested in. So I mean that because I don't want people on that I don't connect with their project. So, you can have the best project in the world, but if I'm not connecting with it, or I don't think there's something special about it, then I got to be real with everyone. So, but yes, guys. So I will see you back here on the Death Curse channel in 2 weeks. Jason says, just give me money. I should run a show at some point. At some point, I think I'm going to have like a bunch of people on for a show. I definitely do, to promote their stuff real quick.
Yeah, I'm hoping then once the new year starts and I'm kind of hopefully will have been done with most of fulfilling, I definitely need to get back to doing my own kind of interviews and stuff and kind of getting back out there. Hopefully, 2023 in January will start off nice.
Shill your shit with Kayla. That's what's going to be
There
the
you go.
segment. All right, guys. Until next time, just follow me on Twitter, I guess, if you aren't following me, or you can connect with me on Twitter and back Edwin's book, and definitely hit him up to get Bloodbone. You want that shiny, metallic looking ash can that's awesome, and you want a shirt because that logo is so freaking cool. That is a cool logo. All right, guys. Peace out.